Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Saturday's live stream with us, the movie couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And on today's show, the show where we talk about all the latest news in entertainment and pop culture, we are talking about, of course, the first trailer for X-Men 97.
We're also going to be talking about Dune 2 and the initial reactions and the Rotten Tomatoes article. Sorry, my brain just went.
No, that's okay. That actually wasn't the title. It was just that. But we are also going to talk about Fantastic Four casting. I know we already talked about it in the previous video, but apparently there's some backlash about the casting. So we'll discuss that on today's show. Of course, welcome everybody. Happy Saturday morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Grab your coffee.
Wendy's got coffee. I've got liquid IV. I've actually got a new, that's not new flavor. It's like a flavor.
Robert and Vanessa on here.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I missed you. I haven't seen you guys since 2019.
We've missed so many people recently. You know, we just haven't gotten to hang out with people.
I know. Well, they also don't live in LA,
that's
so it's kind of hard.
True. It makes it a little difficult.
We'll have to go visit Arizona. I've never been to Arizona.
No, we haven't.
We're inviting ourselves over, Robert.
Just tell Domino that we're dropping by.
Domino would, I don't know, would Domino love us or hate us?
I don't know. Especially, I don't know if we bring Navi.
Navi would hate it.
Yeah,
Navi doesn't like bigger dogs than her because she can't lord over them and she feels intimidated and then she's like, I don't know. Oh, they have an extra room.
Hey.
It's okay, we'll figure something out. Let's go into the first topic. Can you tell my brain is not completely awake?
No, it's one of those. It's Saturday morning, and we had a long night last night. We were working on some stuff. I was doing some editing until like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm like, maybe I should go to sleep.
Oh, late to the party also said she'll try to eat Navi. I get it. Speaking of Navi,
every time we start, Navi's like, "Oh, Daddy, now you have to pay attention to me," and she'll start like pawing up my leg.
Handsome.
Oh, she's so pretty.
She needs a grooming. She's a little scruffy, a little stinky, so I gotta call the groomers after this. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into our first topic. We're talking all things X-Men. Sorry that the picture is not fitted to our format, but we got our first look. For
X-Men 97.
Yes.
It was very impressive.
Yeah. The upcoming series that's going to land on Disney Plus in March. Only 10 episodes, but apparently there's also going to be a second episode. So we're super pumped about it. Second season.
A second season has already been greenlit, which gets me psyched because that means they're like, hey, we like this. Sure. We have faith that this is going to be an amazing series. Yes. So I'm like, yes, give me more.
Yes. Yeah, we're super excited about it. What I really like about it all is that the animation style resonates with what we remember from in the 90s. Like, sure, it's bright. They're obviously using today's technology, but they didn't change it to like an updated thing. So it very much is going to be a continuation of the previous story. We were actually so the entire like 90s cartoon, all the seasons are actually available on Disney Plus. There's like an X-Men collection. You can see all the other X-Men live action movies if you want to, plus the cartoon. So I remember watching like the first season for sure.
I think I've seen
You've probably seen all of them.
Yes, but it's been so long. And also, was it Jack Robbins in there? Yes, dude. From the way that this series is set up, you really kind of need to go back and watch the originals. One, they're amazing cartoons and they're so good. They have great character development. And one thing that they do a lot in this series is the fact that they have like 4-episode story arcs, 5-episode story arcs. They'll tell the entire
like the Dark Phoenix,
the Phoenix Saga, Dark Phoenix Saga. They'll have I don't think they brought in the Brood, but I know they brought in the Phalanx in there, and just it is done so well. They've done the entire series for Apocalypse. Days of Future Past.
Yes.
So yes, definitely go and watch. I think there's a total of
3 seasons.
No, 5.
Oh, 5.
There's 5. I do have to admit though, the last couple of episodes of the last season are kind of cringe because that's when they, that's when they decided to fire all of their all of their animators and all of their writers and be like, okay, we're kind of canceling the show, so we're now just going to get rid of everyone and we don't care about these last couple of episodes.
Yeah, as the comment says it here, the backgrounds look so much better than the new one. And right before that, they wrote the last season was rough. They cheapened out even more on the animation quality. And it's funny because which is where I was trying to get to. The point was, if you go on Disney Plus and you open like all the basically all the cartoons, they give you thumbnails, right, of all the episodes, and we're scrolling through them seeing like, oh, do we remember watching this, or oh, look at this chunk of like a 4-episode storyline, kind of like not a breakout storyline, but it's contained in like the Phoenix ones and whatnot. And then we got to like the last season, and you can see it even in the just tiniest thumbnail. I was like, oh, that animation looks bad. And I was like, isn't it supposed to progressively get better as you move on, because everything, technology and whatever is evolving, and it just looked bad. But we are going to, because in the trailer they had the graduation day episode, like snippets of it from there.
Yeah.
Professor X is saying his final goodbyes, and the X-Men obviously very sad about that. So it's like, I like that we get to kind of continue on.
Yeah. And it does seem, because I remember that last episode where they do have, Magneto and all of the X-Men's kind of like looking up and looking, what is that called? Like they're just looking majestic. But it seems like that's also in the new series. So they might take like those last couple of episodes that were done very poorly
previously on X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. And that's the thing. Okay. So I'm glad MK was able to answer this question, because I know every single season had a different number of episodes. So MK, thank you so much for answering the question of how many episodes are total, but they're just so good. And I love the fact that they tackle some big story arcs instead of having everything needs to fit in to one episode chunks. But it's amazing. Go watch it. I think I've seen like the first couple of episodes with the Sentinels like hundreds of times, because that was the one that they constantly reran. So that was the one that I always watched.
Yes. Really exciting stuff coming out about the X-Men. We also have this graphic. So Gambit, in the, like, I've always really liked Gambit as I would probably put Gambit as my favorite X-Men. You just see the little boop.
Their little nose boop.
But it's also hard to compete with Wolverine. Like, I really liked Wolverine as well. So this picture right here makes me really happy. And obviously Gambit literally charged up his claws. So I can't wait to see how this scene plays out. I don't want to see it until the episode's out. Like, I want the full context.
I want to see how that works. Because a part of me is like, oh, that's an interesting like tag team use of powers. Since Wolverine does have his healing factor, would it just be the fact that now he's kind of like a walking bomb and he could just like run up to something, go, ah,
yeah,
and then blow it up and then just heal back up. And then at the end of the fight, he's just like, no, I need a new uniform.
I really, I'm so sad that I feel they never got to do Gambit right in the films.
Yeah. But I think
but
they're
maybe
going
now.
To.
Yeah, maybe now.
I hope they do
will.
Gambit right in the animation, because the actor that did his voice just made everyone go, Cajuns are so cool.
Yeah.
So I really hope they're able to get I don't know if they've gotten the same voice actor. I should actually look that up.
Yeah.
But I do really think it's going to be, if they have to recast Gambit's voice actor,
they're going to do a voice match.
Yeah.
For sure.
So but I geeked out so much when they announced this show. I think they announced it at Comic-Con in 2019.
Did they?
Or was it D23?
I think it was D23.
Because this is, if you had to ask, what was the cartoon that I grew up on, I would say X-Men. X-Men is the one that I remember the most of, the one that I remember the most fondly. But yes, X-Men.
Yeah, so I think everybody is really excited about it. I certainly am, just to see where they go and know that they have a second season, greenlit and ready to go, is really good. Another thing that I kind of really like about this series is that they're not casting, first of all, I guess a disclaimer, nothing against A-listers doing voiceover roles.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But specifically, like, I feel like regular, like, VO artists, voice actors, sometimes they're like the unsung heroes, right? You hear them your entire life growing up in cartoons and video games and whatever.
Especially in anime.
But sometimes, like, their name aren't as quote unquote recognizable as like an A-lister. So then now with the trend is to cast the A-lister to do, like animation voiceovers, because the name on the marquee and on the poster is going to look good and it's going to draw people. So I understand it, and I'm not saying these A-listers shouldn't get a chance to do it if they're good at it, but I like that for this series specifically. I believe they did bring back
some of the cast members. Back.
And then they're doing a pretty good voice
Rogue
match.
Is back.
Wow.
But okay, so I did notice in the trailer that Wolverine sounded a little different. It is a different voice actor. However, here's a question that might throw a little wrench into your gears about having A-list. What if they got Hugh Jackman to come in and voice Wolverine?
But he doesn't sound like the original.
He doesn't. He doesn't sound like him at all.
I love Hugh Jackman. I love him with all my heart, and I will, for however long he wants to play Wolverine live action, like, I will watch him. But if they really want to honor the style and everything, the aesthetic and everything about the 90s cartoon, they need to cast based on voice talent versus name.
Yeah.
And also, as able as he is.
Here's something else.
Oh, it's the same voice actor.
It is the same voice actor for Wolverine?
That's what this comment's saying.
Awesome.
Same actor, just older.
So, but here's another thing too. In the original X-Men cartoons, I don't think they ever had Deadpool. What if they actually brought Deadpool and it is Ryan Reynolds?
I can accept that.
He's going through, because we know in Deadpool 3 he goes into the TVA. What if there's a moment to where it actually, like, you'll see Deadpool, like, in the movie go in and then come out, and he'll say something about, I was animated, but in the animated series, we actually get Deadpool coming in and going, nope, and then he just leaves.
That would be pretty funny if it's a short minute. So we'll see what happens. March isn't really that far away, so it's coming on March, right?
Yes, soon. Yeah. So right around the corner. So super excited, guys. Let us know your thoughts, whether in Discord or in the comments in the live chat here. Let us know what you think of the trailer, some of the characters you were really excited to see back. We know that we saw Bishop in the trailer, amongst many. Morph, thank you all
for not screaming in Cap.
Yeah.
Only a couple of people, but I think they did it because it was funny.
I recognized the comic book design of Morph. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, wait a second. Why would they change him? Because they didn't do that in the animated series, but that is true. That is his natural face. That's what he normally looks like. He just took on the face of the Morph from the cartoon to kind of fit in. Mm-hmm. So it is cool to kind of see them adapting some things. And we're probably going to get, I know one of them, I think we saw Apocalypse in the anime, in the trailer. So I'm excited to see them do that storyline too. Age of Apocalypse.
I want to go to this comment before we move on to the next topic. Wendy and Dustin, how do y'all feel about Magneto being in charge at the end of the trailer? I think that's a great cliffhanger / stinger for or a button at the end of the trailer, because it gets you go, oh, well, Charles isn't here anymore technically, so what now? It's up to, like, like Scott saying, like, my X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's like a team up, or somehow, some way they're gonna find a way for Professor X to come back.
There's always a way. It's comic books. Anyone
never dead.
You could have someone blown up into a million pieces and then poured acid all over them, and somehow they still come back.
It worked in Fast and Furious too.
So And one storyline that they didn't do in the cartoons, because I don't think this comic had come out yet when the cartoon ended, was the Onslaught storyline, to see what happens when Professor X and Magneto's consciousness merge into this one super destructive being.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if they're going to do something like that. It is possible. I'm really excited. I'm just really excited to see what they do with this, because it's going to have probably, I mean, you're not going to be a part of this this series unless you are passionate about it. So I am assuming that since they're bringing back so much of the original so much of the original actors, a lot of the original people who can come back to work on this are going to be a part of it. And so I'm a little nervous about them continuing on without Charles, because he was such a big part of the animated series.
I feel like they're going to bring him back in some way.
Probably.
In some way.
Hopefully
he's going to exist in somebody's consciousness. Maybe Jean.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's what they did. They did something like that in the movies too.
Yeah.
Maybe he transfers his consciousness into someone who was dying.
Yeah. Jean did look pregnant.
Yes.
They definitely made a point to show that in the trailer. So that's a storyline. Matarata is saying that a storyline I wanted to see in the comic, but Grant Morrison happened.
Yep, we're going to see their kid, who I think at one time does get the Phoenix Force. At one time, I can't remember her name. Everyone in the comments, please tell me. I can't remember their child's name. I know Cable does become one of their kids or in their lineage, but I can't remember what their daughter's name is. Yeah, I know. So, but I'm sure someone will remember in the comments down below.
I mean, look, everything we got to see, I know it's just one trailer, but and then the nostalgia like really hooked us in, like, and then the song starts playing. Yeah, exactly, and it's kind of game over. All the 90s kids are like, woo!
Oh my God, if you grew up in the 90s, yeah, you
Rachel
know
Summers.
That. Thank you so much. So I'm excited to see these storylines, because I know they do these arcs so well. They tell the whole story, or at least as much of it as they can, in 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah. And
they're not afraid to do that. So I know we're going to get some epic stories.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just can't wait to see which ones they choose. But yeah, definitely I have to go back. I want to rewatch all of them, or at least watch some of the big story arcs. I want to rewatch the Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch Dark Phoenix. I want to rewatch some of the stuff with Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in there about the Savage Lands that was so cool. So I'm super excited.
It'll be super exciting. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic, but before we do, I did see a super chat from Marvin.
Thank you so much.
Martin, who always gives us really great suggestions on books or music videos or whatever it may be to kind of like check out. So for today, he writes, Maya's, I'm totally saying that wrong, BGT Egypt Dance X-Men cartoon honest trailer. Oh yeah,
they did that a long time ago.
That sounds like a must-watch. Wolf Totem by the HU. If you could be a mutant or turn into a worm or bug, or turn a worm/bug into Dune-sized creatures. I don't like bugs specifically. In their normal natural sizes, so I don't think I want to turn any of them into Dune sandworm size creatures. That would freak me out. So I think I would rather be a mutant.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be a mutant too. Have some awesome powers.
Just be my luck that my mutant power turns into bugs, or communicate with some sort of
with bugs. That sounds like a really bad D&D spell. Communicate with bugs, not animals. Not with the dead, with only bugs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So there are some of your recommendations from Marvin himself. Thank you so much, Marvin. We have another super chat from Chris. Hey, Chris. Our spider friend. Chris writes, I saw Madame Web last night. At least it was better than Morbius. Lol.
I haven't seen Madame Web.
Did you see Morbius?
I saw Morbius.
I can't decide if I would like which one I thought was better. I really can't decide. Are the same writers?
Oh,
same writers. Yeah.
Honestly, with me, I went into Morbius with such low expectations, and I went in there just like, okay, whatever, throw it at me. I think I came out of that going, I expected worse.
I
But
wonder what it would be like now then for you to go into Madam Web, because your expectations
are
also very,
so
very
low. Well,
low.
of course, I think I had low expectations for that movie before even you saw it and you did your review
Yeah,
on it.
I was, what's sad is like I really did think the girls looked really good in their suits, and had this movie done really well, that would have like potentially secured their future in like the Sony Spider-Verse maybe, but I'm pretty sure now that's not gonna happen. But Chris, I am glad you at least got to experience it. Our friend Jeremy, you guys know Jeremy Johns. Jeremy did a regular review, non-spoiler, but if you've seen the movie, he did a spoiler review, and I like essentially laughed the whole way through. It's a really fun video. So if you've already seen the movie, I would recommend watching that spoiler review. It was just fun.
It was actually kind of fun to watch too, just because one, Wendy was like, oh my gosh, that's the exact same thing that I said in my review. And it's funny to see critics who don't like actually like communicate first, and then they put their when you see a whole bunch of critics say the exact same thing, that's when you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is probably most likely definitely pretty bad.
Yeah. So there you have it. Thanks, Chris, for your super chat. Thanks for I'm glad you got to watch Madame Web. I hope you had fun at least. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. It was supposed to be Dune, but then I forgot that we were doing kind of like a first look at the upcoming follow-up sequel to Joker Folie à Deux. So I just wanted to point it out because we have been also curious about what Lady Gaga, how she will look in the film. We know the film is supposed to have a little bit of musical element in it. So there's another photo, black and white. Looks absolutely stunning, by the way. So I can see this being like the musical portion of it, kind of playing out in somebody's head, maybe his head, maybe her head, maybe in real life. Because it looks like maybe they're still inside the asylum.
That probably
with the brick wall and everything. Like that doesn't look like an auditorium stage.
I would love for that to actually be the case, that like all of the musical numbers actually do happen inside Harley's head.
Or his head. Yeah.
And
because remember, she's the doctor that's technically evaluating him.
Yes. So, I mean, honestly, I think that's a really cool way to kind of do it, to where sometimes you can't tell, is this really happening? Or is this happening inside their heads? Or whose head is it happening in? And is there actually a moment? Are they going to develop the relationship to where the Joker does actually have some kind of feelings for Harley? Or is he 100% using her like in so many other iterations of the Joker and Harley Quinn?
Yeah, I don't. First of all, thank you, Black Lala, for your super sticker. We don't see it on here, but you guys can see it in the live chat, and we see it on our phones. It's so cute. Navi's friend. I'll go back to their picture here. I will say this: having seen Margot Robbie play Harley Quinn many, many a times now,
and loving her,
I think it's kind of like cemented a specific image of Harley in my head. So when I saw this, I didn't immediately go, oh yeah, that's Harley. But also here, she has to start as Dr. Harleen Quinzel first before she kind of, eventually evolve into the Harley Quinn. So, but I can't zoom in, but you can also see sort of like she's got a little bit of the eye makeup.
She does. I zoomed in on one of the pictures that I saw earlier. Is that she has just a little bit of the blue clown triangles underneath her eyes. At first, I thought it was like her mascara that was running or something, or like her makeup that is bleeding.
Yeah.
But no, it is actually, and I like that. I like the fact that it's subtle at first, and probably by the end to see it actually grow more and more. It's weird. When they first said, that they were doing a Joker 2. I was like, oh, why are you doing this? Don't do it. No.
This is the first time he's going to be in a sequel of something.
Yeah.
I think, because he doesn't normally do stuff like this.
And it makes sense. So, and if Joaquin Phoenix is going, oh yeah, I want to do this sequel, and I never do sequels, that made me go, okay, there's got to be something a little interesting about this.
I feel like he enjoyed the character.
Yeah.
Although I feel like it's such a tremendous task taking on. It's a heavy role. Like you're like, I feel like you're really in your head a lot as the Joker, and you can tell by his support. It's very effective. It's very contagious on like watching on screen, because I know I've only seen the first Joker ever once. I don't think I can handle it again because it was a lot.
I came out of that just feeling wrecked.
Yeah.
And you know it's a good movie when it has that strong of a reaction to you and your emotions at the time. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I was in a good place when I went to go see that movie to begin with. But I'm excited to see what this one brings to the table. I'm excited to see what Joaquin Phoenix saw in this script. The fact that they're bringing in Lady Gaga and they're saying that it is a musical.
Yeah.
So that means it's not just
does he
one.
Sing? Oh, he does sing.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did
sing.
walk the line.
Yeah.
Walk the line. So we know he can sing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm really interested now. I mean, now that they've thrown out these pictures, they've thrown out, all of the information that they have. It sounds exciting. It sounds like, okay, you can do this really well and continue this story. Now I'm wondering too, let's say this movie, it just gets blown up, and it is
in a good way or
in a good way.
Okay.
It is amazing. It gets some Oscar nods again. I would love to see what they do to continue this storyline.
Oh my God. Let it be over at 2. You don't need to drag it on.
Well, that's what we thought about Toy Story, right?
It's so different.
I know, but like there's so many other movies out there, so many other shows. When they first brought it out, you're like, oh my God, no, don't do it. Don't remake it. And then you're like, wow, that was really good. I mean, heck, even when they first brought out the Joker movie, we were like, oh, how are they going to do this? How are they going to present it? But the more information that came out got people more and more excited. Mm-hmm. So who knows? I mean, if this just does an amazing job, this could just be a really cool deep dive into the psyche of this character's entire history and entire story arc. And then in like the next one, do you bring in Batman, but actually make him kind of like the villain? I think that would be kind of interesting to make Batman just this kind of dark phantom that the Joker just latches onto. Mm. And
I mean, they did tease Bruce Wayne in the first movie, who's a little boy.
I would imagine that they're going to do at least a few more teasers of Batman and Bruce Wayne in this movie. But I'm wondering how far they're going to take it and how far they can take it before it gets just so, oh, why did you do that?
Yeah, that's why I think they should end it at 2. Like, they want to set up Harley Quinn and they want to get her in the universe. Great, but I don't necessarily want I don't want a Batman intro. I don't want to see the Waynes. We know they exist in there, and like maybe they can do like a quick, everybody's at some like ritzy gala. Yeah. Right, as the Waynes would be going fundraiser or something. But that's it.
That's also another thing. I mean, honestly, that was the one thing that I didn't like about the first Joker. I was kind of like, no, just have him by himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the little putting the Waynes in there
to make it connect. Like I don't really need it.
Yeah, I am excited. I did like the fact that the riot that the Joker caused was what caused the death of the Waynes. Spoiler alert. Sorry if you haven't seen Joker yet.
Sorry, guys. So yeah, let us know your thoughts in the chat, in the comments, or on Discord about what your thoughts are at, kind of the first look at Joker 2 with Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, and what you think of just like would they continue the story past the second Joker. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is Dune. Dune Part 2 early reactions are out, and oh my gosh. I had a chance to see it early.
Jealous. So jealous.
And my eyeballs, that's all I'll say. Is like I already tweeted out about it. I'm really happy with the film. I absolutely love the first one. And the second one is just as epic, just as loud. We watched it in like a Dolby setting. So like the sound was delicious. It was so good. The seats were rumbling. It was so loud that you can't really think, and it was great. I was really I know there's like that meme where people are sitting in the theater and there's like things like blowing at them.
Oh,
that's what
your skin is flapping backwards.
What it felt like, and I was so happy. Like I ate it up.
Oh, one of the funniest things though with this is the fact that after Wendy saw it in IMAX, it
wasn't IMAX. It was Dolby.
Oh, in Dolby.
We're gonna see it again in IMAX.
Saw a clip or a featurette on our TV, and
at home.
Wendy was excited at first, but then when the scene actually comes on, she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is like putting earmuffs on and having to like turning the volume down to nothing." She's like, "This is so muted compared to what this scene is in the movie."
It's a theatrical experience. Like movies like this, the sound design, production, visual, cinematography, acting, everything. Movies like this, this is what will take people to the movies. You're gonna sit down with your weird sandworm popcorn.
Oh my god, that thing looks horrible.
And just have a good time, because like that was the thing. It's like our TV is pretty nice, but it's not gonna do what movie theater, like we don't have like those super.
We don't have a subwoofer.
TVs.
We don't have surround sound.
Yeah.
We don't have an IMAX screen in
our couch wasn't vibrating from,
we can't feel the
yes. So definitely like highly recommend a theatrical experience when you watch Dune 2. If you can watch it on an IMAX, like if you've got one in a reasonable distance from you, go see it in IMAX. If you can only find Dolby or like AMC Prime, fine, do it that way, because otherwise you're really missing out on everything that it has to offer. But like they really raised the stakes in this movie. It feels like all of this, just he is amazing. He is so good. I can't believe this is the same guy that is singing about chocolates and wanting to be an inventor. It's a whole different vibe.
And rapping on SNL.
little Timmy rapping on SNL. He's just so excellent. And the cast too, you know, they added obviously a couple of characters to this one. We've got Florence Pugh in the movie. We've got Austin Butler, who is
Elvis, the king,
transformationally different. He doesn't have eyebrows. He doesn't have hair.
I love that guy's voice.
We were watching interviews last night,
and anytime he talked, he just has that low voice, and he just is like, you feel the charisma just ooze off of him, and he just is so cool. And I'm just like, man, I wish I was like a quarter that cool, because he just seems like a really cool guy. And the group that they had Zendaya, Timothy, they had Timothée,
Zendaya, Timothy, Austin, and Florence.
And I'm like, all of these guys are so cool.
Yes.
They're so chill. They seem like the greatest people to work with.
I love this. I totally forgot they were in Little Women together. She was Amy. And that's right. That was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Did they mention that in the interview?
No.
Because I thought they were saying, hey, you guys have...
The very first time they met.
Was on Little Women. Oh, no.
No, I think they made it sound like it was before that, but I think they were also talking to Zendaya and Timothy about it.
Oh,
and then they asked Florence and Austin their first time meeting, so they kind of split them. So the early reactions, I'm just going to pull up this article by the Hollywood Reporter. Just a lot of people singing praises. Jordan Farley says, blown away by Dune Part 2, even though I should have put graphics up for you guys. Found it even more immersive, tactile and emotional than Part 1. The clarity, heft, and scale of the action is staggering. For me, the whole occupies a rarefied piece alongside The Lord of the Rings as a definitive version of seminal text. A few people have compared this to Lord of the Rings.
Just how epic it is.
And then with the battle scenes, some people are comparing it to the Two Towers. I'm not going to say anything like that. I feel like that's too spoilery. I want you guys to go and like watch it for yourself.
I just love what on the Rotten Tomatoes article that you sent me was the fact that it says the definitive sci-fi epic of a generation. And if it is already better than the first one, how would you rate it compared to the first one? Would you really say?
I think I liked it better.
Because
I think I liked it even better.
It seems like it's more action-packed. It seems like once they got all of the exposition out of the way, they're now like, okay, let's have fun with some sandworms.
Oh my god, it's so look. I like skipped out of the screening room. I was so happy, and that just makes you like as a movie fan. You don't ever want to go into a movie being like, oh, I guess I gotta see it. Like, you want to have fun. You want to be entertained. You want to get lost in the story, in the world of whatever it is that they're telling. And Dune Part 1 and Part 2 does that for you. So I like skipped out of the screening room, and in my head I was like, I'm about to make Dune my entire personality until this movie comes out.
We're going to turn our entire study into the Dune study.
We're going to put sand all over. We're just going to walk on sand.
I hate sand.
So you guys, let us know your excitement for Dune Part 2 in the comments below. I think there was somebody who wrote in the chat that they're not. Oh, here it is. Yeah, like it's a little bit different for everybody, right? It's a sci-fi film. It does sit a little heavy. So kind of like this comment, obviously, like, and it's okay to not be into it too. Like, just because. I
mean, it also makes sense. I mean, Dune is dense. It has so much material. It has so much this and politics. And if you don't like politics, you're not gonna like Dune, because there's a lot of politics involved.
Yeah.
But for us, we enjoy that. We enjoy the intrigue. We enjoy the entire world building that Dune has to offer.
Yeah.
But I just can't wait to go see it.
Yeah.
I'm really, really sad that I didn't get to go see it with you.
Yeah, that was like, I no +1 on that one. I think it was like Rotten Tomato critics only. I didn't even ask. I didn't even bother asking. I was just like, I will RSVP. Because I knew the answer was going to be, like individual invitations. Are you guys going to get the Dune popcorn bucket?
Oh, no.
Probably not. It's pretty massive. So we're watching Jimmy Kimmel last night, the interview that they had with the core cast. It's I don't know why I thought it would be smaller.
Yeah.
But it's so regular popcorn. I don't have one here. Regular popcorn bucket size, plus
it's like a tin, I think.
It's a tin, plus the addition of like the sandworm like contraption on top, and then we don't have room. We don't have room
for something that I think is just kind of weird looking to begin with. I'm just not into that the bucket. I thought it was just kind of weird, and I'm just like, and what is it on Jimmy Kimmel? They actually tried to go in and reach. First, the fact that you're reaching through the worm's mouth to get the popcorn, and then when you try to pull it out, all of the popcorn just kind of brushes off of your hand from the teeth.
Yeah,
I'm like, poor design. Poor design.
It's like it's a novelty specific thing.
Yeah,
I kind of also wish that the worm part of it can like kind of as like a soft lid can be lifted off of it, so you can eat your popcorn without the thing, and then you could put it back on for like display and collection sake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe that's how it works, but like nobody's talked about it.
I think you can take off.
Yeah, because how else are you gonna get the poor concession workers would
I hate this stupid bucket. It takes forever to fill it up. It slows down the line, and I just want to get the people their bucket and get out of here.
The line's forever long. Everybody's got a popcorn bucket, and you just see them like trying to shove popcorn into. Oh my god!
And it's like, no.
Oh my god! I'm not gonna put this comment up, but
Monterata's
comments.
It looked very much like some kind.
Okay.
Everyone thought of what that bucket looked like.
Yeah.
So, but yes.
Yeah.
It very much. I'm sure it was screaming in everyone's head.
Yes.
That looks inappropriate.
It's just shy of 3 hours, Black Lala. It's
it's shy of 3 hours.
It's like it's almost 3.
It's so like 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Plan your bathroom breaks accordingly. I found no place to have like been able to go to the bathroom because I felt like if I got up and left, I'd miss something. Maybe not dialogue, but the beautiful scenery or the sound design. I just don't want to miss any of it. So I went before. I was advised to go before. And then I didn't really want to until the end where I was like, oh gosh, And this is where it was like everything was ramping up to that like final act, and I was like, I can't go now.
So it's pretty much make sure you just don't drink anything for like 2 hours before the movie, and just go through the entire movie. You know, eat popcorn, but just don't drink much because you will regret it.
There is a CJ says there's a Regal popcorn bucket.
Oh, that's smaller?
I can't imagine they're the same design.
I'm getting the one at Regal.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay. Oh yeah, because I want to know if it's different at all. Maybe it's
okay.
Oh yeah, that one's a lot better. That's your typical face.
Oh my God.
There we go. I got it.
Yeah.
That's your more typical popcorn bucket.
That's nicer.
Like honestly, I think Chris gave us a popcorn bucket. And we got some popcorn buckets also from other fans. Those are cool. I like the tins.
We have a Wonder Woman one.
Yeah. We got an Avenger one.
Yes. Thank you.
And we also got like Star Wars one. I think we bought those. It was Rogue One.
Yeah, yeah, because I really like that movie. Those
can be decorative. Yeah. And they also they can serve a purpose. You can have them for your keys. Put your keys in there. We actually have a little decoration to where we have some of our stuffed animals poking their heads out of the bucket.
Yeah, it's adorable. So you know, if you get the sandworm popcorn bucket, like you like it. Who cares? It's your money. Spend it how you want. We're not gonna get just one. I don't personally think on display for like our aesthetic it would look good anywhere. And two, we don't have room. We're actually trying to.
We got to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, there's some stuff that we have to kind of look through, and then we're just like, oh, it's too much. So okay, let's go ahead and move on to what is it?
Well, Richard just said that
this one,
the Ghostbusters tin is supposed to look pretty cool.
Well, so. Richard, now we have to look it up. Hold on now. Ghostbusters.
Frozen Empire popcorn bucket.
Empire popcorn bucket. Sometimes I wish I could type faster. Oh,
it's Slimer.
Oh, wow.
Do you put your hand in Slimer's mouth to get the popcorn?
Yes. Oh, there's one of this is the one.
There's a couple of them. The trap.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's the trap, that's kind of cool. That's really cool.
Let me see if I can.
I like that a lot. Oh, sorry.
Can they see it?
I don't know. Okay, fine. I'll move my face.
I don't think. There it goes.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I like that one.
They also have one of Ecto 1, and then there's one of Slimer as well from Cinemark. So there's different theaters doing different things. AMC has one.
The Trap one.
Harkins Theater, wherever that may exist. That's not a U.S. theater, but that's really cool. There's a Firehouse popcorn container.
Ooh, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, there is a lot. And it's like, I know there's a lot of Ghostbuster fans out there. So you guys do you. You guys do you. Like, Disneyland also has a lot of really cool popcorn buckets. A lot of the times we do have a few that get gifted or sent as like PR.
In the work that we do, it's almost impossible not to have a couple popcorn buckets from that we've gotten, either that we were like, oh, we have to get that one.
Yeah, like the Wonder Woman one I really wanted because I love Wonder Woman. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. All right, what are we talking about? We are talking about my notes.
Some of the Backlash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no graphic for this, but we did talk recently about the casting for Fantastic Four, which, like, you and I don't really have a problem with any of the casting. We think the actors are capable. We think that they can make it work. But I've seen, just various articles talking about it. I've seen people in the comments talking about it that mostly everybody is the most excited for Vanessa Kirby's casting. Yes. They think she is the perfect choice, is right on. But a lot of people aren't really that like on board with Pedro Pascal's casting. And then in another article that I saw, they're also not really happy about Joseph Quinn's casting. I don't think anybody's talking really about like Ebba Moss-Backrack's casting, because I think he's, again, they're all capable actors. But what do you guys think? Do you have any sort of reservation about casting? Did you?
No,
when you first
honestly,
heard?
when they first brought out this list, a part of me is like, okay, we've been hearing about Pedro Pascal. Honestly, Pedro Pascal wasn't my first pick, but he is an incredible actor. I've seen how versatile he is. So I think that, yeah, he could do the job well.
Yeah.
And they are all actors, even though we have seen them do specific kinds of characters. Their job is to embody the character that they have been given. And they all do a good job. I've seen them do good work in the past. So they're all talent. They have the ability to take on these roles. So I'm excited to see what they bring and what Disney has, Disney/Marvel has in store for all of these characters.
Yeah.
But I am a little upset that people would just start hating on Joseph. I mean, I think he showed incredible likability, incredible charisma in Stranger Things, and
it's a whole different type of character. Like the personality between Eddie and Johnny Storm are vastly different.
Yeah, but even though Eddie still had that cockiness, especially when he was behind the DM screen, when he was a D&D, when he was the DM, he was very much of like, I am so cool. I'm the one who's in control of everything. So I think he can pull it off.
Yeah.
I do probably want to go back and see some of his other work.
Yes.
Just because, I've only seen him in Stranger Things. But I love him. I loved Eddie.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's a great character. Roger, thank you so much for your super chat. Who writes, "Hi guys. Great to see your live stream again. Everyone has to complain about the MCU right now. If the I was gonna say Fast and Furious because that's how I write. If in show notes, I would put FF for, but I also put Fantastic Four. If the Fantastic Four movie is good, everyone will then love the cast. I feel like that kind of does happen too. Like we saw that happen with Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
No, true. There's Guardians of the Galaxy, but the greatest example of all time, Heath Ledger as the Joker. Everyone was like, "What? You're getting this pretty boy, this what is that called? Like the
teen heartthrob.
The teen heartthrob to be the Joker, and he's one of the greatest Jokers of all time. I mean, to where everyone hates him everyone hates the casting until you see how amazing they are. Like Gal Gadot
as Wonder Woman.
I have to admit, I fell into that category of
I did the same.
Oh my God, are you kidding? You're getting her to be Wonder Woman, and then she did it, and you're like, oh
yeah. No, I think she's great. I think she's really good as Wonder Woman. However, I don't feel like I've seen her in a role that I felt she was able to completely sink into. Like she really sank into that Wonder Woman role, and I could see it, and she became it. In some of her other movies, I was just like, I can't. She's not disappearing into the role for me. Like it's it just didn't feel the same. But I will say specifically to that for the sake of this conversation. Yeah, she was another person that I was like, Wonder Woman, her, why? And then you saw her in the first Wonder Woman, you're like, got it.
But I have to admit, I mean, right now, Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel are all very much at that stereotypical Disney decline, to where we've seen it happen before over and over and over again, where Disney has this huge spike of amazingness and awesome stuff, and they're bringing out so many cool different animated films, animated movies, Marvel, Star Wars, and then they start going down, and then they'll come back up.
The content became very oversaturated, and I think a lot of it too was, Disney Plus premiered essentially, and so they were looking to put content on there and make it like, why should subscribers put their money on Disney? Like, why should they use their money to subscribe to Disney Plus? That's because we have all this content. So I understand why, but it was oversaturated because it was like The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, and then we have the Bad Batch, and then the Clone Wars came back, and it was all during the Clone Wars was pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
But then we got all the Marvel shows plus the Marvel movies, and it was just kind of relentless, and we were being fed, but then I think we were feeling a little overstuffed. With all the stuff.
And it was a lot of quantity over quality, to where they were just throwing it out there. And I felt you could start to tell that things were starting to head down. And I'm just hoping that now that they've course corrected this year, we're only getting one Marvel movie. And
Deadpool?
Yeah, we're getting Deadpool.
And Wolverine.
True. Next year, 2025, we're getting like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they're kind of like, okay, let's pull back, take 2024 to kind of reorganize, figure out exactly how we want to do this. And I think the trajectory of quality of Disney properties are going to start going back up, I hope.
Yeah. Well, like Iger already said that he wants to focus on quality over quantity, and he wants to kind of slow it down. And I was like, absolutely, do the storytelling part right, and the audience will be there for you.
Yes.
So, Anthony with another super chat. Anthony, thank you. Who writes?
Thank you, Anthony.
I really like the cast. Everyone fits the role, at least in my opinion. Also, a little something for the popcorn bucket. Thank you so much. If we do end up getting it, we'll let you guys know. They're probably going to be sold out.
Yeah,
I feel like, because it's so talked about.
It's getting a lot of publicity.
It's made it into junkets. Like, there was so my friend Maud, you guys know Maud Garrett, she did an in-person junket for Dune Part 2, and there was an interview of her with Rebecca Ferguson, who plays Lady Jessica in the film. And she walks in, and they haven't quite started yet. And Rebecca was on her phone looking up the popcorn bucket. Like, the stars of the film are aware of this, and they're like, "What is
this?"
Maybe the people before her, whoever interviewed her before, asked her about it, and she's like, "I don't know anything about this." And then she's looking at it. But it was just so funny that it's like in the topics of their interviews.
I feel like whoever did the marketing or the design for this popcorn bucket might have also worked on some of the marketing stuff for the Phantom Menace, because they brought out so much merch for the Phantom Menace that was
Did they?
Oh my god. Okay. At the time I worked at Blockbuster, and we got a lot of this Star Wars merch, Phantom Menace Star Wars merch. One of them was a Jar Jar Binks head. You push the back of it, there's a little button, the mouth would open up, and the candy piece was Jar Jar's tongue. And I'm like, no one bought it. No one bought it. We ended up throwing away so many of this stuff, and you're just sitting there going, how did this get okayed? How did someone look at this and go,
sure,
yeah,
looks great,
it's going to sell a ton of these
to adults and kids alike? I can just see that, like, maybe the kids think it's funny, and the parents are like, absolutely not.
Yeah, and there's
and
that's just the worst example of some of the merchandising for the Phantom Menace was nuts, and just I think they were just trying to bring out as much merch as they as they possibly could.
Yeah. Black Mountain wants to know, Dustin, you didn't keep one?
No. It traumatized me, because every time I came into work, it kind of stared at me. I'm like, get away, stop it.
Fun.
I know what you want to do.
That's not fun. So another thing we want to talk about before we end the live stream is obviously they teased a cute little Valentine's card with our the current cast of Fantastic Four. And now everybody's obviously speculating that, okay, we're seeing them in their like original, like very retro costumes. So does that mean this will be set in the 60s? And I think in a way that kind of makes sense, because we've had so many movies now of the MCU. So how do we integrate them into the storyline where they should have all existed? If you want to kind of look at the timeline of the comics and everything. So if you set it in the 60s and then they get lost and then they come back, and then it's like, oh, we missed everything that's happened down here. I don't know if that's how they're going to do it.
A reason why they aren't there for Endgame, for everything else.
Yes.
But I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like them setting it back in the 60s, honestly, though. But I also don't like the idea of, oh, they were just ordinary people during the blip and during Thanos, and now they get their powers.
Oh, that could work, though. The blip could work, right?
Yeah, but then why didn't they get if they had their powers
they got
before?
Snapped. That's right.
Or I mean, they were gone for 5 years.
Yeah.
But so really curious to see how they do tackle it. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it does take place in the 60s. They have their origin stories. They have whatever adventure they're going to have, and then they could introduce the Phantom Zone, and not the Phantom Zone. It's something different in Marvel. The Negative Zone. No, I can't remember which one belongs to DC and which one belongs to Marvel, but they go into that zone,
right?
And they get stuck there, and then they come out maybe after Thanos, and they're like, wow, it's been, how many years would that be? That would be 40, 50, 60. It's been 70 years.
Right.
So maybe that's possible.
So we were looking at the Collider article because they have an article out, and the headline is the Fantastic Four movie going to be set in the past? And this is all just going off of, the tease of that Valentine's Day card. So a couple of things that they noted was that on that Valentine's Day poster / card, let's see. Aside from the costume, some of the other details, for example, there is Herbie, and that stands for highly engineered robot built for interdimensional exploration. And that is seen, so that is seen in the poster. And instead of like a usual, I guess there's a more futuristic design. That one looks like a younger version of it. And in the article, it says it looks like the younger cousin of the robot from Lost in Space. And then also Ben Grimm is reading a magazine, looks like a Life magazine, with President Lyndon B. Johnson on the cover, who took presidency in the 60s during the height of space race, as said in the article, which would be important for Ben as an astronaut. And you can see his photo of himself, the portrait of himself. And then let's see. Another thing that they mentioned is that we know Matt Shakman is helming the Fantastic Four films. Previously, Matt Shakman worked on WandaVision, which had a lot of period pieces episodes going through all the different eras. So is that why they chose him? Because they knew they were going to have him helm this movie? We don't really know the specifics of it, but
yeah, Marvel was very mute on that. Yes. They didn't tell us anything.
Yeah. The Negative Zone, babe.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just
the Phantom Zone is Soups.
Okay. I'm like, which one's which?
We have a final super chat before we end the stream today.
Thank you so much.
Who writes, I feel like there are better ways to explain why they weren't in the MCU till this point otherwise than time travel, because then how is Reed so smart for modern times?
Good point.
If he was really smart for the 60s, that's a great point.
Yeah,
that's a great point. Like, you're honestly smart, but you still have to catch up with the times. I was just like throwing out
like your cliche ideas, like to where I really hope they don't do something like this. That they do come up with something better, because if I can think of it, it's not that original of an idea. I can tell you, if I can think of a better script or a better way to tell your story, I'm not an expert in writing stories, but I just hope that they find a nice, interesting way to kind of explain, okay, this is why they weren't here from Iron Man to Endgame.
Yeah.
So, and we get some good fun explanation.
Yeah, I'm really curious to how, and again, like, that poster could just be a poster.
Yeah.
It could literally just be like art, it doesn't necessarily confirm that they're going to be set in the 60s, but it could, it could be like little breadcrumb trails to what it could be.
They are normal in the future, then their experiment or their accident happens that sends them to the past.
They do like a Buzz Lightyear.
Kind of
in the Buzz Lightyear
now
movie.
You made me think that's a terrible idea.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, no, Dustin, we're not taking this to fruition. No, just end it. End that theory right there.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. And who also writes, that's like the one detail that's been bugging me with the time travel stuff.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that I'm just hoping that they have a group of amazing writers on this, and they're able to be like, hey, guys, we've got something awesome for you. hold on to your socks or hold on to your pants or whichever one gets knocked
hold
off.
on to your spacesuit. If Galactus is the villain of the film, he could have something to do with them not being there during the Infinity Saga.
Oh, and they go off and fight Galactus. But that means in this time period, they would be old. Well, except for Grimm, because for the Thing, he apparently ages insanely slowly, or not at all. But everyone else, all of these actors, you would have to put on 70, 80 years of makeup on them to make them look a little bit older.
Yeah, I don't know. We will see. It is certainly interesting to kind of something to think about. But obviously, the movie doesn't even come out. They haven't even started production. We literally have no confirmation whatsoever on what costumes to look like, kind of setting, time period, anything, because they literally have not started production. And
well, I'm sure they started.
There's no photographers,
but they haven't started filming.
They haven't started filming officially, and there's no photographer with those super long lenses hiding from miles away, trying to get like that one blurry set photo. So I guess we will wait and see. Details will come out. I feel like by July Comic-Con, Kevin Feige will drop hints.
Oh yeah,
something he'll bring the cast on stage. He'll probably introduce at least one more character, probably like potentially the villain, like who they would fight against, or give like the synopsis. That's I think we're gonna find out in July, which is supposedly when filming is supposed to start.
Yeah,
they said that it would take place in the summer. So
fun summer.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is it for today's live stream. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We had just so much fun talking all the topics with you. There's another topic we want to talk about, but we're running out of time because we said this would be an hour and we're an hour 2. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you all for your chats and comments and super chats. We appreciate you so much. We are definitely trying to, bring the live stream back because we get to interact with you guys in real time. And that makes it fun. Obviously we have Discord. The link is somewhere in the chat there. But sometimes we're not sitting in Discord. So a lot of the messages and like this discussion, which is really meant to be a safe place for all of you guys to just discuss television and movies and news and whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. We have K-drama in there. We talk about food. We talk about memes. There's what you're listening to, anything.
Number one rule, don't be a jerk.
Don't be a jerk. And with that, you guys, thank you so much. And we will see you on the next stream, whenever that may be. We'll talk to you then. Bye.